Okay, hey everybody, Dan here, and I want to look at Agnico-Eagle mines in a sec, but just wanted to mention that, and I go into a lot of detail on this in tonight's strategy session for our premium peeps. But I just wanted to mention my sense about the market, particularly the broader market. Somebody must be at the door because that's yeah, I'm gonna have to pause this. Okay. Anyway, front door, dogs. Anyway, so I just wanted to mention again that I go into a lot more detail in the nightly strategy session, but I'm looking at the broader market, and the longer this level holds, the more confident I become, and I could always be wrong. The more confident I become that this level is going to really hold, and then it may take a month or two longer, but at some point, I think the market's going to resume its historical behavior, which is that it continues to move higher. So we could get a real nice move over the next or after the next few months. So just don't be totally bearish or anything. You're going to be kept out of a market that's working. So anyway, what I wanted to talk about was Agnico-Eagle mines. Okay, so, and by the way, this was what I was showing a second ago, not that. That this level will hold. I just think this 5,500, or 550 on the SPY. I think this level has pretty good odds of holding, particularly if you're drawing a trend line like that. It just seems to be just about right. So you can see the inflection point between the line, horizontal line, which is the upward channel here, and the last high here. So, or the last low. So anyway, I just kind of like the way this is trading. So let me get back to Agnico-Eagle. Gold is working really well. This kind of popped out of a volatility squeeze here. And then, so the entry was right here at 97.80. Now we're up $10, just about $10 dead balls on. But this is now at a new high. And so I think that you could buy it here, even though it's at a new high, as long as you keep your risk contained. And the way you contain your risk is on with a price target here on this low. This day's low was 102.64. And so, like, I don't want a duplicate. So you would literally have it here, guys, at 102.62. Like, I wouldn't give it any more room than pulling back to here, because if the stock pulls back and really kind of undercuts this low, then you got to look at this as kind of double toppy. So anyway, that's my sense on this. Hope this helps. Sorry about the roughness of this video. Our little Mexican street dog is a little skittish these days for various reasons, but we love the hell out of her. And hey, Riley, you can stay. She can stay. All right. That's it. That's all I got for you guys. I see a couple of our members kind of wandered in here. I appreciate you guys very much, and we'll see you next time.